Sandra, our next guest says the use of the so-called double tap strike method against American adversaries was routine procedure under past administrations. Let's bring in David Shedd, former acting director of the Defense Intelligence Agency under President Obama and the author of the new book, The Great Heist. So a lot of controversy about what happened back on September the 2nd. How are you struck by this idea of 4 missiles being fired at the same target over a period of 2 hours?
Well, thank you, John, for having me. My read of that particular hit is that if you look back on the history post-2001 and the authorization for the use of military force, the AUMF as it's known, applicable to terrorists in terms of their designation, resulted in the hits that would take out al-Qaeda, subsequently ISIS as well, and other extremist groups that were designated under the AUMF in terms of targets. And as a result, the second tap, as I would call it, if there was, in sort of the term of art was squirting, if individuals were running from the vehicle or running from the cave or wherever the hit took place, there would be a second strike, perhaps even a third strike if necessary.
So the way that it was told to the intelligence committees in the House earlier this week by Admiral Mitch Bradley, who made the call on it, was that the boat appeared to be potentially functional, that the people who were left on board the boat were trying to maybe right it again and put it back into action or contact people to come and try to get them. And so he decided to take that second strike. And apparently he had real-time legal advice because there was at least one JAG, if not more, who was there in the command center with him. Does that satisfy you?
It certainly does satisfy me, although I will tell you, as a non-lawyer, maybe perhaps an armchair one, I will tell you that getting an opinion from the Department of Justice in terms of the legal counsel on what constitutes a target writ large in terms of falling under the AUMF is really a vital step to be taken in terms of the designation now of FTOs, the foreign terrorist organizations and individuals associated with these drug smuggling boats that are being targeted now at the 22nd vessel that has been hit as recently as in the last 24 hours.
So you get a real difference of opinion by people who were at those briefings. This is what Congressman Jim Hines, who is the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee, said he took away from that briefing from Admiral Bradley. Listen here.
But what you need to do is you need to see 2 terrified men clinging to the wreckage of a ship. And these men are not, this is not Pablo Escobar out there on a boat. You know, these are guys that probably didn't have a lot of economic opportunity, made a terrible decision to participate in the drug trade.
Now listen to what Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas said following his briefing.
I saw 2 survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs down for the United States, back over, so they could stay in the fight.
I mean, you had one member of Congress who was saying, I saw people who, for lack of economic opportunity, were involved in the drug trade. And then you have a senator from Arkansas who says, no, these were combatants. How are we supposed to take that?
Well, to me, they were, in fact, trying to restore their vessel in order to continue their trafficking. And it really comes down to this fundamental question, are they foreign terrorist organizations and individuals that can be targeted even on a second hit or a second tap as you introduce this topic? And my answer is absolutely yes, if you are now confident that they fall into the category of presenting this clear and imminent danger to the national security of the United States. And that really is the bottom line of really shaping this policy vis-a-vis these networks of drug traffickers.
Well, in terms of whether they're a foreign terrorist organization or not, Congressman Rick Crawford, who's the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, a Republican, says that these drug traffickers make ISIS look like Boy Scouts. So he doesn't have to be sold on that idea. Thank you for being with us today, David. Appreciate your time, sir.